This meeting is being recorded.
Thank you, Rahul. Jai Mahesh, everyone. Before we begin today's taxation webinar, I would like to briefly acknowledge the inspiring journey of Maheshwaris Community in UAE. Our foundation was laid on 25th April 2025 by Shri Abhik Javandi and Shri Harsh Rati, whose vision brought this vibrant family together. Since then, many dedicated members have strengthened this platform and carried the legacy forward. Our heartfelt appreciation goes to Shravanji, Manishji, myself, Snehal Kumar, and Abhishek for their continued support and leadership. At the heart of this community lies a simple but powerful motto to support one another first in work, business, services, and opportunities so that we grow stronger together as a community. We are rooted in seva, sanskars, entrepreneurships, and unity, and our community continues to thrive through events like today's session, what we are carrying out. With that spirit, I warmly welcome all our members and experts joining us today. Priyanka, I hand over to you. Priyanka is a CA, Company Secretary, All India Rank Holder, Advisory Board Member for UPT, and currently working as Senior Financial Analyst in Amazon Services. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Snehal Bhaiya, for the warm introduction. Good evening, everyone. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Mahesh. कभी ऐसा लगा है एनआरआई टैक्सेशन एक ऐसा पजल है जिसमें पीसेस हर साल शेप चेंज कर देते हैं. जस्ट व्हेन यू थिंक फेमा समझ आ गया, एक नया अमेंडमेंट आ जाता है. जब लगता है कि DTAA क्लियर हो गया, बजट अपडेट आ जाता है और फिर सब कुछ दोबारा डिकोड करना पड़ता है. As NRIs living in the UAE, we constantly balance two taxation systems, India and UAE. और दोनों को अलाइन करना कभी कभी ओवरवेलमिंग हो जाता है. रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस का कंफ्यूजन, डबल टैक्सेशन का कंसर्न, कंप्लायंस टाइमलाइंस, इट कैन क्विकली बिकम वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स. सो आज का सेशन इसी कंफ्यूजन को क्लैरिटी में कन्वर्ट करने के लिए हमने प्लान किया है. We are truly privileged to have with us two very seasoned professionals who deal with cross-border taxation day in and day out, Kiran Ji Somani and Kushal Ji Verma. Kiran Ji Somani, a chartered accountant with over 6 years of experience across India and UAE, is currently serving as Assistant Manager, Corporate and Internal Taxation at MICS. He specializes in UAE corporate tax, cross-border structuring, and regulatory compliance. Having previously worked with PwC, he brings strong technical grounding along with practical commercial insight. Alongside him, we have Kushal Ji Verma, also a chartered accountant and currently manager corporate and international tax at MICS. With extensive exposure across real estate, oil and gas, manufacturing, and service sectors, he has advised clients on tax strategy, compliance, and regulatory risk management. His background in audit and IFRS implementation adds strong analytical depth to his advisory approach. आज के सेशन में ये दोनों एक्सपर्ट्स हमें सिंप्लीफाई करके बताएंगे DTAA का प्रैक्टिकल इम्पैक्ट, रेसिडेंशियल स्टेटस पर कांस्टेंट कंफ्यूजन का क्लियर फ्रेमवर्क एंड लेटेस्ट बजट अपडेट्स और उनका एनआरआईज पर डायरेक्ट इफेक्ट. We will keep the session interactive and all your questions will be taken at the end. Please feel free to note them down and send them in the chat. So let's move from confusion to clarity. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Kiranji Somani and Kushalji Verma. I here pass on the stage to Kiranji.
Thank you, Priyanka, for the brief introduction of myself and all the topics that we are going to cover. Can we go to the next slide? These are the 4 topics that we are going to cover briefly. Next slide. So firstly, we will cover the most basic and important topic, the residential status for the individuals. As the residential status determines what is the Indian tax law going to be applicable or not, and all the taxes are levied or not on the basis of residential status. So the residential status can be classified into 2 groups. One is the normal resident and non-resident. In resident, there are 2 types, resident and ordinary resident and resident not ordinary resident. And second is the non-resident. These are the abbreviations that we are going to use in the future slides. So we need to keep the focus on this. Next slide. So firstly, what is residential status? Just keep in mind the basic things that we are going to learn today. First, as an individual, if we stay in India for more than 182 days, then we will be a resident of India. If that is not the case, then we have a second condition. If we stay in India for 60 days or more during the previous year, and 365 days or more during the 4 immediately preceding previous years, मंथ्स लास्ट ईयर और उसके पहले के 4 साल, ये हमको देखना है. सो अगर ये भी कंडीशन सेटिस्फाई होती है तो हम रेसिडेंट कहला जाएंगे, नहीं तो फिर नॉन रेसिडेंट. लेकिन
सॉरी
ये
फॉर
जो सेकंड
इंटरप्टिंग किरण
कंडीशन
जी,
है.
आपकी आवाज थोड़ी
या
लो आ रही है, थोड़ा माइक नजदीक ला लीजिए. थैंक यू,
हेलो,
कंटिन्यू.
अभी अभी आ रही है सबको क्लियर? ओके. सो फॉर द सेकंड कंडीशन जहाँ पे स्टे इन इंडिया फॉर 60 days और मोर है, सो वहाँ पर तो एक्सेप्शंस है. नहीं, उसी साइड पर ही, हाँ. वहाँ पर दो एक्सेप्शंस है. फर्स्ट इज दैट 182 डेज, मतलब 60 days की जगह हम 182 डेज यूज करेंगे अगर वो इंडियन सिटीजन हो एंड वो गया है बाहर एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए, या फिर एक क्रू मेंबर ऑफ इंडियन शिप है. So that it means that second condition will be not required. Only the first condition will be required of 182 days. And second exception to that is if it is an Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin who is being outside India and comes to visit India. इसका मतलब यह है कि वो पहले से ही बाहर है, वो सिर्फ विजिट के लिए इंडिया में आ रहा है फिर से. तो फिर उसके केस में अब 60 days के जगह 120 days यूज होंगे इफ दिस इंडियन इनकम इज मोर देन 1.5 million रुपीज, मीन्स 15 लाख रुपए. इफ, हाँ, ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा कंफ्यूजिंग है तो इसको एक समराइज करके अपन ने नेक्स्ट टेबल में रखा है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. सीधा सीधा, इफ यू आर एन एम्प्लॉय मीन्स यू हैव गॉन आउट ऑफ इंडिया एज अ फॉर एन एम्प्लॉयमेंट, देन यू हैव टू जस्ट सी वन कंडीशन, दैट इज 182 days और मोर. No more conditions to be seen. If you are Indian citizen or a person of Indian origin who stays outside India but's come to visit in India and have an Indian income of less than 15 lakh, so it is there is only one condition to see, that is 182 days. But if your Indian income is more than 15 lakhs, then you have to see two conditions. You have to stay outside India for 182 days or more, and plus in last 4 years, no, in last year, you should be outside India for 120 days, and preceding 4 years, 365 days you have to be outside India. In all other cases, you have two conditions. The which were basic 182 days or more outside India, and 60 days or more plus 365 days or more in the 4 previous year. Next slide. So once we get to know we are a resident or a non-resident, then we have to bifurcate ourselves. Uh, if we are resident, ordinary resident, or resident, not ordinary resident. So there is only one condition where you can be a resident, ordinary resident. That is, you have to be an resident in India for at least 2 years out of the 10 immediately preceding previous years, and you should be in India for 730 days or more during the 7 immediately preceding years. अगर ये दोनों कंडीशन आप सेटिस्फाई कर जाते हो तो आप रेसिडेंट ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट है, और नहीं हो तो फिर रेसिडेंट नॉट ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट. इसके अंदर एक केविएट भी है कि इफ यू आर सिटीजन ऑफ इंडिया और पर्सन ऑफ इंडियन ओरिजिन एंड द टोटल इनकम एक्सीड्स 1.5 मिलियन, तो आपके लिए कंडीशन और एक हो जाती है कि इफ यू गेट मोर देन 120 days बट लेस देन 182 days, तो आप उस केस में रेसिडेंट नॉट ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट बन जाते हो. ये थोड़ा टेक्निकल है, बट इसका मेन बैकग्राउंड क्या आता है कि देर आर टू देर इज वन थिंग इन विच resident ordinary resident is taxed in India, and resident not ordinary resident is not taxed in India. If you go to the next slide. So इसमें जो फोर्थ पॉइंट है, जैसे फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड पॉइंट is such a thing which are taxable in both resident ordinary resident or RNOR, that is income received in India or income arrived in India. In this case all are taxable, resident, not ordinary resident, and NR. But in case of fourth point, income accrues or arise outside India and the business is controlled or set up outside India, मीन्स सब कुछ बाहर है फिर भी रेसिडेंट ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट को टैक्सेबल हो जाएगा इंडिया में, और रेसिडेंट नॉट ऑर्डिनरी रेसिडेंट को नॉट टैक्सेबल रहेगा. यही मेन डिफरेंस है इन दोनों में. सो नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. इन सब के अलावा और एक पर्सन है जिसको हम बोलते हैं स्टेटलेस पर्सन. मीन्स ही इज सच अ पर्सन कि जो कोई भी कंट्री का रेसिडेंट नहीं है, लेकिन इसके अंदर इंडियन लॉस के अंदर कैसे स्पेसिफाइड है इसमें, इफ ही इज एन इंडियन सिटीजन in and not liable to pay tax in any country due to his domicile residence or similar criteria, then and his income in India from Indian income is more than 15 lakhs. So it will be a stateless person and it will be taxable in India for as a resident, not ordinary resident. So this is also one of the most different topics here. And this was recently introduced, matlab in 2020 Finance Act, it was introduced. Next slide. We will take some practical illustrations that will help us explain more about the concept. So let's say an Indian citizen who is a businessman, he stays out in India for more than 182 days. Means we have seen through the right hand side. If it stays in India for more than 182 days, मीन्स वो अगर इंडिया में पहले ही 182 डेज से ज़्यादा है तो ही विल बी रेसिडेंट डायरेक्टली। तो और उसके अंदर फिर से अपने को दो देखना है, मीन्स इफ ही सेटिस्फाई बोथ दिस 2 years and 730 days conditions, he will be ROR, and if not he will be RNOR. And if is less than 182 days, then we have to see the second condition. लेकिन इसके अंदर आप बोलोगे कि वो इंडियन सिटीजन एंड पर्सन ऑफ इंडियन ओरिजिन वाला पॉइंट क्यों नहीं आया इसमें, जिसके अंदर 15 lakhs वाला भी थिंग था। द थिंग इज वो दोनों पहले से ही बाहर है, वो सिर्फ विजिट को इंडिया को आता है, और ये रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया था। तो इसीलिए हम वो वाली कंडीशंस इधर नहीं देखते। So he is in India for less than 182 days, and if he stays in India for less than 60 days, then he is not resident. And if he stays in India for more than 60 days and 365 days, he will be resident. And the same criteria for ROR or RNOR. This is the thing for Indian businessman. For Indian employees, it is simple. For employment, if anyone going outside, if he is less than 182 days, he will be NR, which is most of our cases. We are in UAE for that only. All are most probably employees and businessmen over here working there. And if it is more than 182 days, it keeps the same. He will be resident. 2 years, 730 days. Yes, ROR. No, RNOR. Next slide. This is the stateless person example. Means he is an Indian citizen who earns Indian income for more than 1.5 million, and he is not taxed in any other jurisdiction. So then in that case, if he stays in India for less than 182 days, he will, and he stays in India for 60 days or 365 days. No, then he is a resident, not ordinary resident. And even if he stays in more than 182 days outside India, he can be he's an still a deemed, oh no, so he's a still stateless person and he will be taxed, so he will be an RNOR. Next slide. The main thing that everyone is expecting here, if an NRI is going back to India, मतलब उसने बहुत पैसा कमा लिया, अब बाहर जाके अन सब होने के बाद अभी उसका मन भर गया, अब उसको फिर से उसके देश वापस चले जाना है। So let's say an Indian citizen who is a resident in GCC for 20 years moving back to India. So if he stays in India for less than 182 days, again 60 days, 365 days, if it doesn't satisfy, he will be a non-resident. Even if he satisfies, then also there is he was in 20 years outside India, so he will be automatically RNOR. He can never be ROR because of 2 years and 730 days he was never in India. And if even if he stays for more than 182 days in India, still he cannot be an ROR because he was there outside for 20 years. Next slide. So main thing again, where does a non-resident pays tax? Only on the income that has been received or deemed to be received in India, or it arises or accrues in India. And one of the main thing that the Black Money and Imposition of Tax Act to 2015 is also not applicable to it. Next slide. So when our NRIs are required to file the tax return, so if as we have seen here that he should be liable to pay tax in India, then only he is required to file the tax return. If he has just interest income of 2.4 lakhs, it is below the basic exemption, he is not required to file. Even and if he has 2 lakhs long term capital gain, तो 1.25 lakhs का exemption तो है, but 75,000 पे tax तो बनता ही है उसका, तो he need to file the return in India. और individuals के केस में now as per the new amendment we'll get to it further also. 31st July for ITR 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 31st August. Next slide. So I like my colleague to get it forward. Kushal. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Kiran, for briefly explaining this, the most complicated subject, that is residency. Priyanka, can you just go to the last slide, please? Yeah. So I think अभी every one of us had their dinners and सभी को नींद तो आ रही होगी. So I will just ask 4 5 basic questions just to check कि अभी कौन कौन जाग रहे हैं and everything. So if anyone agrees, you just have to say yes. Then they can just react a thumbs up, and then we can we can just play the normal Q&A we can play. So just to start, Kiran has explained that we are required to file taxes in India only if we have any tax liability that we have to pay. So my question for you is, what if we don't have any tax liability to pay, but we have losses in India, then whether we should file return or not? Any of you, like, you can do thumbs up in case you agree to this, that we should file return, or you can do thumbs down in case you think that we should not file the return. Yeah, I think majority of the people are doing thumbs up, and it should, yeah. So yeah, we should file the return because it may not be compulsorily for us to file the tax return in India because we don't have any taxable income, taxable tax liability to pay. But sometimes losses gives us the benefit for the future taxable incomes. There are some carry forward losses as well that we can take benefits in future. So in case you have anything in India, like you have any losses or incomes in India, you should file a return. And now, to summarize the whole concept of residency, I think the summary of the total explanation that Kiran just have given is that maximum, or I think 99 or 100% of us all sitting here in this webinar will be non-residents for India only. I think we all are agreeing to this. But we can go to the next slide. But Kiran has beautifully explained the Indian tax residency. But from angle of UAE taxes or UAE laws or UAE authorities, what is tax resident? So how many of us thinks that having Emirates ID means that we are a resident of UAE? How many of us thinks that? We can do that thumbs up as well. Yeah. Yeah, so basically, yeah, so I think that's why this session was much needed. So I think majorly of us are thinking that if we have our Emirates ID, then we are a resident in UAE. So just to apologize, but I don't think so that is the case, because resident having our Emirates ID means that we are a resident in UAE. That doesn't mean that we are a tax resident in UAE. And to be a tax resident in UAE, there is there is a specific definition of the people who can be tax resident in UAE, as there was in India. So the for UAE, who will be the tax resident is the person who is in UAE for 183 days or more, or the person who is in UAE for 90 days or more, but he is a UAE national, he is a Emirati, he is a GCC national, or he has UAE residence permit, means he have Emirates ID. So in case you have Emirates ID, then staying in UAE for 90 days will give you the residential status of UAE, the tax residential status. In all other cases, you will be tax resident only in the case you are here in UAE for 183 days. Additional conditions are that you should be proper residence here, and you should have business interest or employment interest should lie in UAE. So in case the basic condition of 183 days or 90 days should be satisfied to be a tax resident in UAE. Holding just Emirates ID doesn't mean that we are a tax resident in UAE. So so another question for you, just to wake up from your sleep again. See, we are a non-resident in India. Is that mean that we are a tax resident in UAE? If we are a non-resident in India, or in case we are a tax resident in India, does that mean that we are a non-resident in India? I think we have one thumbs up from Abhik, sorry. Yeah, Giriraj, thumbs down. Yeah, we have a lot of thumbs down for this particular question. Yeah, and I think now we all are awake. Yes, because as per so residency is defined as per their specific domestic laws. UAE have their specific domestic laws. India have their specific domestic laws. Now हम तो बीच में फंस गए. We are in UAE. हम हमें कैसे जाने कि how we should हम अपनी टैक्सेबिलिटी कैसे डिफाइन करें, हम कहाँ के टैक्स रेजिडेंट एंड एवरीथिंग. तो उसके लिए वी हैव इंडिया यूएई डबल टैक्स अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट. So just to start, we can have next slide, please. So just to start, and just to before explaining how it will be taxed, who will be the resident and everything, I will just explain and take a pause to explain what is double tax avoidance agreement. So basically, it's an agreement between two states or two countries, which is in which with the both countries agrees to avoid any double tax for on any incomes which is double tax, to allocating the tax rights between both the countries, to provide clarity on residency, like who and which country will tax, and which country the individual or the entity will be resident, and to prevent the tax disputes between both the countries. So India and UAE have signed this agreement, this DTAA, back in 1993, and from then this is applicable for us. So I might not be able to cover the whole DTAA, but what we will cover in this DTAA is the things that will impact us. So I am deriving this whole discussion going forward that we all are non-residents in UAE, in that way only. So in DTAA also, we can have next slide, please. Yeah. Yeah. So residential status defined under India UAE DTAA states that for India they have just defined that any person will be Indian resident as per the Indian laws, like domicile, residence, place of management, and everything that Kiran have just discussed is related to that only. But for UAE, anyone will be tax resident for this specific double tax avoidance agreement will be taxed as only if he is in UAE for more than 183 days or more. अगर वो 90 days वाला condition will not be applicable in this case. जो 90 days plus Emirates ID, you have to stay in UAE for 183 days or more in case आपको ये डबल टैक्स DTAA का बेनिफिट लेना है. नाउ आई एम सेइंग DTAA का बेनिफिट लेना है, तो इसका बेनिफिट है क्या? तो जनरली हम नॉन रेजिडेंट्स, हम वी हैव ओनली 4 5 और 3 4 वेज जो हम जिसमें हम इंडिया से इनकम अर्न कर सकते हैं. बेसिकली कोई इनकम जो इंडिया में भी टैक्स हो, यहाँ भी टैक्स हो, जो 3 4 वेज आई यू कैन ऐड इन चैट बॉक्स इफ यू हैव एनीथिंग, बट जनरली दीज आर लाइक डिविडेंड्स that we earn from India. It can be interest income from our bonds or interest, or it can be हमारा डिबेंचर्स में इन्वेस्टमेंट है, किसी को लोन दे के रखा हुआ है, like that. Then we can have capital gains on sale of these सिक्योरिटीज, शेयर्स, और हमने प्रॉपर्टी सेल कर दिया है, कोई हमने इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी से रेंट आया. सो यही 4 5 टाइप के इनकम है, जिसका मैं आपको भी बताऊंगा कि यूएई इंडिया DTAA में हमारी टैक्सेबिलिटी, हम नॉन रेजिडेंट है. जैसे अभी मैं यूएई में बैठा हूँ, आई हैव इन्वेस्टमेंट इन रिलायंस पेट्रोलियम इन इंडिया. सो अब रिलायंस अंबानी जी ने सोचा आई विल डिक्लेयर डिविडेंड फॉर माई टू माई होल द शेयर होल्डर्स, एजीएम उन्होंने सोचा, दे हैव डिक्लेयर द डिविडेंड. Now, if that dividend comes to me, I am not a tax resident in India, but the DTAA between India UAE says जिस भी country from which country the dividend has announced, so उस that country can tax, but only maximum up to 10%. In this case, हमारा कोई dividend इंडिया से आता है, though Indian government can deduct, or the tax liability on that income will be 10% only. Generally Indian domestic laws के हिसाब से it is 20%, but as I am a non-resident, I have the benefit कि वो tax 10% से ज़्यादा Indian government can't take more than 10%. This is the case. Then comes the interest part. Interest part में भी similar है. We can go to next page, please. Yeah, interest part में भी similar ही है. Domestic rates कुछ भी हो, it can be more than it can be 15 20%, कुछ भी हो for interest incomes. But as I am non-resident, I have a Indian government have to deduct a rate, tax at special rate, which is 12.5%. अब सिचुएशन ऐसे, इफ द क्वेश्चन दिस कंडीशन इज वाइस वर्सा. अब ऐसा होता है कि अब मान लो मैं आई हैव इनकम फ्रॉम यूएई सिक्योरिटी से मेरे को डिविडेंड आता, एंड आई वाज टैक्स रेजिडेंट इन इंडिया. उस केस में एज यूएई डोंट हैव एनी पर्सनल टैक्सेस, तो यूएई टैक्सेस नहीं लेगा. means but UAE can take taxes but maximum up to 10%, but generally UAE taxes नहीं लेगा क्योंकि UAE don't have any personal taxes, but Indian government will take taxes on their domestic laws. So this case will applicable. So dividends are covered, interest are covered. Now comes the capital gains. कैपिटल गेन्स कैन बी फ्रॉम इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टीज. मेरा कोई फ्लैट है, आई हैव फ्लैट इन जयपुर, दिल्ली, कहीं भी मेरा फ्लैट है, आई हैव सोल्ड दैट फ्लैट. अब उस पर मेरे को इनकम आता है. तो फॉर इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टीज इट इज द लॉ बोलता है कि जहां पे भी इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टीज सिचुएटेड होगा उस गवर्नमेंट के पास राइट होगा टू टैक्स दैट इनकम. इन आर केस अगर मेरा प्रॉपर्टी दिल्ली में है तो इंडियन गवर्नमेंट हैव राइट टू tax that income, not UAE government. And same goes for rental income from that immovable properties as well. But in case of sale of shares and securities, जहां पे वो कंपनी रजिस्टर्ड है, जिस कंपनी के मैंने शेयर सेल किए, उस गवर्नमेंट के पास टैक्सिंग राइट्स है टू टैक्स दैट इनकम. अब हमने इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी डिस्कस कर लिया, वी हैव डिस्कस सेल ऑफ शेयर्स. अपार्ट फ्रॉम ऑल दीज are covered in other properties that says any income on sale of these units, like other properties apart from sale of shares and securities or immovable property, will be taxed in only that country in which I am a tax resident. So in this case we are a tax resident of UAE, not India. Now we have you must have seen in latest newspapers as well ki mutual funds, if we have any gain on sale of mutual funds, that will not be taxed anywhere and everything. So this particular provision is applicable for that case only, क्योंकि mutual funds are not covered in immovable property and sale of shares, and we have I think 2 case laws for this as well, specifically these 2 cases are specifically for UAE only, that mutual funds are in definition of other we can go to the next slide. So mutual funds are there in definition of the other properties only, and hence अगर मैं as a non-resident earns an income from India on sale of mutual funds, UAE government has right to tax that, and in UAE as of now there is no taxes on personal investment income specifically. So hence my income from mutual funds from India will be exempt. Like it will not be taxed in India, it will not be taxed in UAE as well. So UAE India DTAA के हिसाब से I have benefit for this mutual fund. I think we have covered major part, passive income part, like dividends, interest और capital gains and everything. Now, अब हम अथॉरिटी को कैसे बताएंगे? इंडियन जैसे आई हैव सो म्यूचुअल फंड्स, आई हैव इन्वेस्टेड इन म्यूचुअल फंड लाइक एसबीआई का कोई भी एसबीआई कैप म्यूचुअल फंड मैंने इन्वेस्ट कर रखा है. अब म्यूचुअल फंड वाले का तो काम है दैट ही विल डिडक्ट टीडीएस ओनली, ही विल डिडक्ट माय टीडीएस ऑन म्यूचुअल फंड. उसको कैसे मालूम है कि आई एम ए रेजिडेंट और नॉन रेजिडेंट? सो ही विल डिडक्ट, उसका ड्यूटी है, ही विल डिडक्ट टीडीएस. So in that case, we have to maintain some documentation, which includes our getting a tax residency certificate, then filing our Form 10, and then we can apply, we can give those documents to our SBI mutual fund so that he will not deduct our TDS. In case he have already deducted the TDS, we can file the tax return in India saying that the income on which the TDS has been already deducted, we were not liable to pay taxes, so we can take the refund. We can go to the next slide, please. Yeah. So just to summarize what we have just discussed about the India UAE DTAA interest. For I am just saying that we are on a perspective that we are non-residents. Interests that we earn from India, we have to pay taxes at rate of 12.5% in India, maximum 12.5%. Dividends, we have to pay taxes at rate of 10%. Capital gains specifically from immovable properties, Indian government will tax as per the domestic rates. For shares and securities, it will be taxed in India only. But specifically for mutual funds, we have the benefit that it will not be taxed. It will not be taxed in India, or it will not be taxed in UAE. आई थिंक सबको लग रहा होगा कि टीआरसी का पार्ट हमने जल्दी जल्दी स्किप कर दिया, बट दैट इज नॉट द केस. So TRC, just to define, is the documents that confirm that residential status of an individual who can apply for TRC. As if I am in UAE for more than 90 days or for more than 183 days, I can apply for TRC because I am tax resident as per UAE domestic laws. Or documents required are the basic documents that will be required to apply for TRC is the passport copy, residence visa, like the pink slip, uh, um, Emirates ID, proof of residence, immigration reports, our salary certificate, bank statement. These basic documents are required to submit an application for a tax residency certificate, and then authority have the option that they will review the documents, and if you are satisfying all the condition to be a tax resident, then authority will approve your application, will give tax residency certificate. Now, just one question. अगर मैं if I am sitting in UAE, then what do you think? How many TRCs I can apply for single? So I will just correct my question. What do you think? How many types of TRCs are there in UAE? If you think there is only one type of TRC, you can give thumbs up. If you think we can have two types of TRCs, you can give thumbs down. I think we need more participation from everyone. There is one three as well. I think there is one for two. There is, yeah, we have a lot of thumbs up. Yeah. Yeah, there is one for two. Yeah. I think we have mixed opinion for this, but we can go to the next slide. So in UAE, just specifically for natural persons, we can apply for residency. There can be two types of TRC certificates. One can be for treaty purpose and one can be for domestic purpose. So we have just explained, as per UAE domestic laws, you can be a tax resident in case you are satisfying 90 days and you are holding Emirates ID as well. Then you can be a tax resident for the purpose of UAE domestic laws. Then you, if you can see in the second certificate that we have, these are the original copies of TRC certificates that we have attached for you. In the second certificate, you can see tax residence certificate for domestic tax purposes. So we can apply. But in case we want to avail the benefit of double tax avoidance agreement that we have just discussed, which is getting that free exemption for mutual fund gains and everything, then in that case you have to apply for the TRC for treaty purposes for the natural person, which is the first case. So while applying for your TRCs, प्लीज डू इट केयरफुली. ऐसा ना हो कि हम सोच रहे हैं कि वी हैव द टीआरसीज बट हमें बेनिफिट मिले ना, एंड देन द टाइम हैज गॉन एंड एवरीथिंग. सो जस्ट बिफोर अप्लाइंग चेक विच टाइप ऑफ TRCs we are applying and everything, then we can proceed ahead. And additionally, if you can zoom into the slide and everything, if you can zoom in, so the tax, it shows that the tax residency certificates covers the periods from 1st January. Yeah, just little down. Yeah, the tax residency certificate covers the period from 1st of January 2024 to 31st December 2024. You will see this info consistently in all of the TRCs that has been issued in UAE. Reason, UAE follows financial year, calendar year as a फाइनेंशियल ईयर, बट इंडिया में तो अपने अप्रैल टू मार्च चलता है. तो ऐसा कोई इनकम हो कि विच इज कि हमें जनवरी में इनकम आया, जनवरी 2026 में कोई इनकम आया, बट हमारे पास टीआरसी तो 1 जनवरी 25 से 31 दिसंबर 25 का ही है, तो फिर हम उस केसेस में क्या करें? तो उस केसेस के लिए वी हैव टू सोल्यूशन. फर्स्ट सोल्यूशन इज दैट in that case we have to apply for TRC for 2 years. हमें we have to apply for 2025 as well, for 2026 as well, just to get that benefit. But in case you have limitation of time and everything, then you can file a declaration, or you can you can file a declaration with your, to whom you have to provide that document, that we have been satisfying it. This is the time period, you have not specified yet, but I will satisfy this criteria, and hence approve me. So in that case you can provide declaration, or you have to take two tax residency certificate for 2 different years. That's what we can be done. And now another forms to supplement the TRC is form. This is document in sometimes there are some details which are not there in case of the TRC. So in case we have submitted the document to our mutual fund provider, he can ask that you don't have these details in this. So this form 10F is not the replacement of the TRC, but it is the supplementary document that enhances the रिलायबिलिटी ऑफ द TRC एंड एवरीथिंग। तो आपको ये भी साथ साथ में फाइल करना है फॉर्म 10F। ये सेल्फ डिक्लेरेशन फॉर्म है। यू कैन फाइल इट एट इन इंडियन इनकम टैक्स वेबसाइट। आपको सिर्फ यू जस्ट हैव टू प्रोवाइड द डिटेल्स, जस्ट हैव टू प्रोवाइड द OTP एंड यू कैन फाइल, you can file, then you can file the form 10F. So this is the basic that we can cover. We can, so I think this we have covered. And now comes the question. uh, uh, yeah, we can be there in last slide as only, please. So this topic is just off the topic, क्योंकि what I have seen and what there is some this basic misconception and everything. So there is a law in India called Foreign Exchange Management Act. उसका भी उसके लिए भी डिफरेंट टैक्स रेजिडेंसी रूल्स हैं कि यू आर अ टैक्स सॉरी यू आर रेजिडेंट एज पर फेम और नॉट। सो बट जस्ट टू समराइज, फेमा भी यही बोलता है इन केस यू आर आउट ऑफ इंडिया फॉर मोर देन 180 डेज यू आर नॉन रेजिडेंट फॉर फेमा पर्पसेस। तो उसका इम्पैक्ट ये है, in case we all are non-resident for purposes of FEMA, we can't have a individual savings bank account in India. If we can't have a savings bank account, then we can maintain two bank accounts in India. One can be non-NRE account, one can be NRO account. We can't have, हम सब में से सबका बैंक अकाउंट होगा ही, आई नो, सब मेरा भी है, सबका होगा, बट जनरली वी कांट हैव एज पर द लॉज। उसके लिए वी हैव टू मेंटेन NRE अकाउंट्स और NRO अकाउंट्स। NRO अकाउंट्स सिंप्लीफाइंग वो अकाउंट विच विल in which you can deposit your Indian incomes, like in case you have any rental incomes that you are earning from India. We can have rental incomes we earning from India, then we can have any dividend income from India. For those type of Indian incomes, we can have NRO account and NRE account we have to maintain for any any repatriation that we have to do to our Indian accounts. तो इन केस हमें को इंडिया पैसा भेजना, आई कैन ट्रांसफर इट टू माई NRE अकाउंट एंड देन उससे अगर इन्वेस्ट करना है, देन फ्रॉम NRE टू NRO अकाउंट एंड देन फ्रॉम NRO अकाउंट आई कैन इन्वेस्ट। We can send money to our family members because they are resident, that we can do, but generally we can't have our individual savings bank account in India. I think this was the common mistake that we all are doing, then we can do. Now this was all for who are resident, who are the tax resident from Indian perspective, who are tax resident from UAE perspective, what are the benefits that are available to all of us non-resident community here in for specifically for UAE. What are the benefits available to us, how to avail those benefits is covered. Now we have added last section, which is specifically from the union budget, the latest budget that has been presented by our finance minister. So what we have tried to cover the 5-6 major points that will impact us, that will impact non-resident Indians. It can be from customs, it can be from disclosure of incomes and everything. So Kiran, over to you. You can explain the any specific points that relates to us from the budget. Yeah.
Thank you, Kushal. So the main thing that was introduced in the finance bill was foreign assets declaration for small taxpayers. When we will mean small, we will get to understand what all we can be covered. So firstly, what are for undisclosed foreign assets? What does it includes? It includes any overseas bank account, whether active or dormant, any foreign shares, mutual funds, ETFs, bonds, which we have been made and just forget it about. And we have not declared it in India when we are a resident of India. So first thing first, to whom this whole scheme is applicable? It is applicable only to resident, ordinary residents, not RNOR, not non-residents. It is only applicable to resident, ordinary residents. Main further, foreign assets includes ESOPs, RSUs, foreign pensions or retirement accounts, immovable property located outside India, any foreign income not reported in Indian returns. So who can take advantage of this entire scheme? The persons who are returning to India after working abroad and they are now been settling in India, means they will be resident, ordinary residents. Then other persons who hold foreign ESOPs, RSU, brokerage accounts, have open foreign bank accounts for studies or employment, own overseas properties and acquired or inherited also earlier, are unsure of whether foreign assets were disclosed earlier or not. are all the persons who can take advantage of this thing. So the finance minister has categorized into two parts, category A and category B. Category A, we are talking about the people who have not disclosed overseas income and overseas asset, means they have not disclosed anything in their income tax returns. So here the finance minister have told us that undisclosed income or assets up to 1 crore, means this is the only reason it is foreign assets of small taxpayers disclosure scheme. Up to 1 crore, if it is not disclosed, then we can disclose it, and tax to be paid at 30% of fair market value of the asset or 30% of undisclosed income, plus 30% additional penalty of tax as penalty. But what we get it here, we get a complete immunity. In case of categories B, we have declared the overseas income and paid tax during the years, and but have not declared any assets. So we can declare all the undisclosed assets up to rupees 5 crore by a payment of nominal fees of rupees 1 lakh. We get the full immunity and penalty and prosecution. Okay. So what had happened previously, if there was no disclosure, then it would have gone under the Black Money Act of 2015, where we have to pay the 30 per tax at the rate of 30% of the foreign assets and income, penalty up to 3 times of the tax amount, for prosecutions with rigorous imprisonment, and loss of immunity even for unintentional errors. Means हम गलती से भूल गए asset दिखाना, फिर भी it was a serious offense in the Black Money Act. But after budget, as we have seen, category A people को अप्रॉक्स 60% ऑफ द asset और फॉरेन इनकम उनको देना पड़ेगा टैक्स में, लेकिन जिन्होंने सिर्फ assets डिस्क्लोज नहीं किए उनको एक फ्लैट फी देनी है. They will get full immunity from any penalty or prosecution in these cases. So this is the crux of foreign assets of small taxpayers disclosure scheme. Next slide. And these are rates for non-resident person. Like वैसे तो ये first दो है reduced TCS rate. It is not for non-resident, but it is a thing that कोई tour पे जा रहा है जो पहले 5% और 20% TCS पे करते थे, now it has been reduced to 2%. कोई पर एजुकेशन या मेडिकल पर्पस के लिए बाहर जा रहा है आउट ऑफ इंडिया, TCS rate was 5%, it is reduced to 2%. Then time available for revising the return. This is one of the crucial thing, क्योंकि फर्स्ट ऐसा होता था कि 31 दिसंबर तक ही आप रिवाइज कर सकते, तो फिर 3 महीने का गैप आता और फिर अपडेटेड रिटर्न खुलते थे. सो दे हैव मेड देयर मिस्टेक क्लियर, एंड 31 दिसंबर की जगह 31 मार्च उन्होंने लेके आ गए. Then fourth is ITR for individuals who does not have any businesses or non-audit businesses are required to file before 31st July. And for non-audit business cases or trust, they can file up to 31st August. Then for TDS on sale of immovable property by a non-resident. Earlier, the resident buyer was required to register a TAN application, and he had to required to pay the tax on the purchase of the property. But now the procedure has been simplified. TAN के जगह सिर्फ PAN से ही काम चल जाएगा. Oh, one more thing for non-residents, that is a happiest thing, means a bit relaxation. Duty-free baggage allowance has been increased from 50,000 to 75,000. एंड फॉर और जो गोल्ड के भाव हम देख रहे हैं जो आसमान छू रहे हैं, तो उन्होंने फिर वो जो वैल्यू कैप थी फॉर फीमेल 1 लाख एंड फॉर मेल 50,000, वो रिमूव करके सिर्फ 40 ग्राम्स एंड 20 ग्राम्स रख दिए अभी. सो दीज आर ऑल दी हाईलाइट्स फ्रॉम दैट इम्पैक्ट नॉन रेसिडेंट्स ड्यूरिंग द class. These are the annexures. It is for tie breaker rule. मीन्स जहाँ पर दो एज पर DTAA है, अगर कोई भी पर्सन ऐसा पोजीशन पे आ गया कि वो 180 डेज इधर UAE में है और 180 डेज इंडिया में है, तो देर आर टाई ब्रेकर रूल्स, कहाँ पे उसका परमानेंट टेस्ट है, क्या वाइटल इंटरेस्ट है, एवरीथिंग. दिस इज एन एडिशनल, दिस इज एन annexure टू दी थिंग. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. So any question for us?
Thank you so much, Kiran ji. Thank you so much, Kushal ji. It's an honor to hear from people who belong to not only my professional community but also my social community. I have a couple of questions that we've received on Google Forms that we circulated yesterday. I would like to ask a few, and then there are a couple of questions in the chat also, so we'll go ahead with them. One question that came up in the Google form is, what is the procedure to get GST waive off for NRIs? Does this need any payment to be made through NRE account or an NRO account or whatever?
Yeah, so
So
if the person who have asked the question can explain the question, because in case he is asking how to get the waiver of GST, so generally GST is an indirect taxes. So in case I am going to India and I have to pay GST on indirect taxes or anything, then I have to pay GST. It's not something else. Or in case he is asking for the export of services from India, in case there's any export of goods or services of from India. So I just want to know what he or she just really want to ask.
I am not sure if they are on the call. If they are, they can raise a hand and clarify. In the interest of time, we'll just move to the next question. If this person is present, oh, we
Please
have
raise
a
your
hand.
hand if you have any questions, so
Abhik
that
has
Priyanka can call them.
could you please unmute Abhik, Navneet?
Yes. So basically, my question was like, consider we have medical insurance in India or life insurances in India, which like now to life insurance doesn't have GST, but previously we have been paying GST. So recently I came to know that for an NRA they waive GST off. So does for in that purpose, do we need to pay that premium amount through NRI account, or if we have paid through NRO account and we show our NRI status, can it be taken back or something of that sort?
Yeah, so basically, so there are two types of taxes, which is generally direct taxes, which is income taxes. Then another is indirect taxes, which is VAT in or GST in India. So these taxes doesn't depend on residential status of an individual or of the company. It generally depends on the place of supply or place of supply of services. And if these are, there are some different law, but in these cases, in case you are spending anything in India, I don't think so there is any option to waive or some, to get the waiver or say that thing. In case you have anything that you have studied or something else, you can share it with us, but it will not be there. There is no waiver for GST paid on expenses or any other things. Yeah.
I hope that is clarified, Abhigya. Moving on, there's one more question. If I invest in Indian mutual funds as an NRI, will capital gains be treated the same whether I invest through NRE account or an NRO account?
Yeah, so basically, the NRE and an NR account having those accounts are the applicability from the FAMA Act, and your taxability depends on the income tax rate and the double tax avoidance agreements. As per the law only, once you are non-resident, as per the FAMA law only, you should maintain NRE NR account, and that you have to maintain, and you should have that gain to NRE through NRE NR account. You should have to, but in case you are having through uh, personal savings bank account, it is not taxable because you are non-resident. But then there can be nitty-gritties with the department that they can question that why you are having the personal savings account and everything. So it will be suggested to have it through NRE NR account only.
Okay, NRE, NRO account, that
Yeah,
is
specifically NRO account. Yeah.
NRO account. Okay. There was one question raised by Snehal ji. Snehal ji, could you please unmute yourself and ask that question yourself?
I think you're on mute,
you
Snehal
are
ji.
still on mute.
Yeah.
Hi. I had a question which I raised. If a person is a UE resident and he's not been to India for more than 500 days, basically, and is staying in UAE from 21 years. So, considering that, is there any benefit or leverage for tax filing or return or anything, as we were telling about that 182 days clause and all that?
Yeah. So basically, yeah, Kiran, if you want to speak, answer.
Yeah,
Because
so
frankly
in
speaking, I have never filed any IT or anything till date in my his career history of 21 years. So I want to more know more. So for me, this session is very important. I can say like a fresh new information when a child goes to a school of KG1 basically. तो वैसे है मेरे लिए basically है, frankly speaking.
Yeah, Kiran, you can say.
so if you are liable to pay tax in India, then only you are need to file the ITR. If you have an Indian income about 2.5 lakhs, then you are liable to file ITR. If you have only the foreign income, that is UAE income, then you are not liable to file any income tax in India.
अच्छा, okay. So if there is no any property on my name or any mutual funds or anything, then there is no need to file that.
Yeah.
If you get rent, then you will and it goes above, then it is applicable. If you have mutual funds, if you sell them, then it is applicable. You need to file that return
And if there
to
is
claim the
any
benefits.
property in the partnership name, so will that also be counted?
If there is any income, you need to file it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically, Neeraj, just to add what Kiran said, so this concept of tax residency, it's an annual concept. आपका हर साल डिफाइन होगा, आप हर साल आपको चेक करना पड़ेगा इफ आई एम रेजिडेंट दिस
Hmm.
ईयर इन यूएई और नॉन रेजिडेंट दिस ईयर इन यूएई एज वेल. सो
Right.
कोई लेना देना नहीं है इफ यू आर हियर फ्रॉम 21 ईयर्स. अब अगले साल अगर इंडिया जाते तो अगले साल यू विल बी टैक्स रेजिडेंट इन इंडिया. बेसिकली लाइक दैट, ये एनुअल चीज़ है.
अच्छा.
And additionally, it's for your question that इंडिया में टैक्स, सो इंडिया में अगर आपको कोई इनकम है इन योर एनी बिजनेस एंड एवरीथिंग, तो आपको इंडिया में टैक्सेस फाइल करने हैं. अगर इंडिया में कुछ नहीं है आपका, तो इट्स नॉट कंपल्शन दैट यू हैव टू फाइल, बट इंडिया में अगर इनकम एंड कुछ और होता है तो आपको इंडिया में टैक्सेस फाइल करने चाहिए.
Understood. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Snail Bhaiya. I would request for anybody who's coming up and asking questions to please switch on their cameras. Also, by the end, once the questions are done, I request everybody to switch on their cameras so that we can take a screenshot of everybody present. Moving on to the next question, it is asked by Madhura Sardaji. When could you please ask the question yourself? Madhura ji, are you there?
Yeah. But so in case he's not here, I can just answer to his question. I think I
Yeah.
can see in chat box. So what he's asking that whether you have to file TRC or 10F with the mutual fund and everything. So generally, in case you are having annual incomes from any like annual dividend or annual interest, you should submit that document annually. Mutual funds and all इनके केस में जनरली यू शुड प्रोएक्टिवली यू शुड डिपॉजिट कि वो टीडीएस ही ना काटे आपका. बट जब वो आपको पे करा है, जब आपको मालूम है कि ही विल डिडक्ट माई टीडीएस, आपको लग रहा है कि टीडीएस काटने वाला है, देन यू शुड डिपॉजिट द डॉक्यूमेंट्स सेइंग दैट मेरा टीडीएस मत काट भाई, आई एम नॉट रेजिडेंट एंड आई एम नॉट लायबल टू पे टैक्सेस ऑन दिस इनकम. तीसरा, अगर आप लेट हो जाते हो, उसने टीडीएस ऑलरेडी काट रखा है, देन थर्ड ऑप्शन इज यू कैन फाइल द टैक्स रिटर्न. आप टैक्स रिटर्न में फाइल करके यू कैन शो दैट आई वॉज अ नॉन रेजिडेंट, मेरे को ये बेनिफिट था, देन जो आपने टैक्सेस टीडीएस कटा है उसका आपको रिफंड मिल जाएगा.
So basically, I'm asking this question on behalf of Madhura. So basically, what I understood from you is that it is only applicable when you redeem the mutual funds, right? Not during holding the mutual funds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from Ankesh Malpani ji. Sorry, Ankesh Malani ji. Could you please unmute Ankesh ji, Navneet?
Hello. Hello,
Yeah,
can
we
you hear me?
can. Yeah, we can hear.
Yes, yes.
Okay, Jai Shri Krishna, everyone, and thanks for this wonderful session. Uh, so my question to you is, suppose I was filing my income tax return as a resident status, and it is like by mistake by my CA or tax consultant. So now I recently asked him to change the status. So in that case, is there any consequences?
तो आपने टैक्सेस पे किया है इंडिया में, लाइक रेजिडेंट स्टेटस के ऊपर आपने टैक्सेस पे किए थे इंडिया में.
हाँ किए थे शायद.
तो कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज तो ऐसा कुछ है नहीं, बिकॉज सरकार को पैसा आ रहा है तो उनको दिक्कत क्या होगी. एक ऑप्शन था सरकार के पास कि तो कोई क्वेश्चन रेज करेगा नहीं करेगा. ऐसे कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज अगर आपने टैक्स पे किया है, क्योंकि दिस इज वी हैव टू सी फ्रॉम अथॉरिटी परस्पेक्टिव, कैसे ऑफिसर किस एंगल से देखता है, उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज कुछ नहीं है. बट कॉन्सिक्वेंसेज आपके साथ ऑलरेडी हो गए कि दैट यू हैव पेड टैक्सेस ऑन सच इनकम, शायद आपको पे करना ना पड़ता. उस एंगल
और
पे।
अगर इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट का नोटिस आता है कि आपका इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी है यूएई में, सो अगर मैं उसको अभी रिसेंटली चेंज किया रेसिडेंट से नॉन रेसिडेंट, सो फिर भी आई एम लायबल टू रिप्लाई बैक टू दैट नोटिस?
अगर नोटिस आता है तो रिप्लाई तो आपको करना ही है। कुछ भी इन केस वो नोटिस आपसे रिलेटेड है भी नहीं, अगर वो आपसे पूछ रहा है
हम्म।
तो आपको रिप्लाई करना ही है। बट जस्ट वन क्वेश्चन, आपके लिए नोटिस आया, जस्ट एक नॉर्मल मेल आया दैट यू हैव प्रॉपर्टीज और समथिंग?
एक एसएमएस आया।
या सो आई थिंक दैट वी कैन डिस्कस पर्सनली एज वेल। अगर आपको ओके
हम्म।
से यू डोंट वांट टू डिस्कस ओवर द
ओके,
पब्लिक, देन वी कैन डिस्कस पर्सनली दैट एज वेल।
नो प्रॉब्लम। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you. There is one question that Harsh Bhaiya has just asked. Harsh Bhaiya, please unmute. Kar do Navneet.
Before Harsh, Girraji asked a question.
Um,
Yeah, Indian
okay.
bank did 33% TDS.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, I missed that. Yes. Yes, Giriraj, you can ask a question.
Yeah, actually, I just want to understand like it is observed that my bank is deducting 33% tax as a TDS initially. Okay, but it has been told that we are eligible to pay only 10% tax. Okay, this is recently from last 3 4 years this is happening. Earlier there was one form, a DTAA form we are filling and giving to HDFC Bank, and they are deducting only 10% tax as a TDS. So is there some provision that we can still do the same thing now?
Yeah, so basically there is one form, an Indian taxes law, Form 15, what I can remember,
G.
Form 15G, that we have to file for
15G.
non-deduction or low rate of deduction. That you can state that I'm not a resident in with the additional documents, with the TRCs and everything, that you can submit, and then you have to submit those documents to Indian that bank with that 15G, and then they will not deduct the TDS.
But TRC taking is a very tedious process and very costly as well, right?
Yeah, it is very costly. Generally, it costs around 1500 to 200,
1500 dirham it cost, right?
2000 dirhams. And अभी तो आई थिंक इन्होंने ऐसा चालू किया है, जस्ट फॉर अ लार्जर पब्लिक, इफ यू अप्लाई फॉर टीआरसी एंड इफ बाय देर इज सम फीस, बेसिक फीस टू अप्लाई फॉर टीआरसी, एंड बाय एनी चांस वो टीआरसी रिजेक्ट हो जाता है किसी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन एंड ऑल की वजह से, तो आपका फीस रिफंड नहीं होगा, वो गया फीस। देन यू हैव टू अप्लाई अगेन विद न्यू फीस। तो दैट वो जो आपको वो कॉस्ट बेनिफिट एनालिसिस आपको करना ही पड़ेगा कि टीडीएस ज्यादा कट रहा है या मेरा खर्चा ज्यादा आ रहा है टीआरसी लेने का,
हाँ,
दो
नहीं नहीं वही मैं क्योंकि पहले बहुत सिंपल था, एक फॉर्म भर दो और वो 10% कट करते थे, एंड सडनली दे चेंज नाउ रूल एंड नाउ दे आर डिडक्टिंग 33%. So I thought of just checking like how can we get rid of this.
बट आई थिंक डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, क्योंकि द ऑफिसर विल अंडरस्टैंड डॉक्यूमेंट्स ओनली, कि आप उसको डॉक्यूमेंट दोगे कि मैं
No
रेजिडेंट हूँ, उसको
problem. Then
नहीं
it's
चाहिए।
a bit good idea to file the return and get all the refunds. That's all.
Correct.
Clear.
Right. I agree. Moving on, Harsh Bhaiya, you had a question, and then Navneet has raised a hand. I think we'll take a hard stop after that.
Hi, Jai Shri Krishna.
Yeah,
Hello,
hi.
Ji
I am
has
audible?
asked question. So we'll take after
Huh.
last question, we'll take
Yeah, I
Amit.
just want to ask. My father has business in India. 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah, hi,
Hello.
Harsh. Yeah, hi.
I want to ask. My father is living with me here in UAE on dependent visa, but on his name, business is running still, and he is living more than 182 days out of India. So he will be considered as NRI or Indian
Yeah,
tax.
so from a residential perspective, he will be a resident in UAE only and non-resident in India. Just
Okay.
one question, इंडिया में उनका like sole proprietorship firm है specifically, और he has a partnership firm, he has a company, क्या है उनका इंडिया में?
खुद के फर्म है फर्म. They have business of own name. Proprietor. He is a proprietor.
So basically, I think in that case, जो business which is in India, वो इंडिया में ही taxable होगा. He is not personally personal taxes, क्योंकि he will be non-resident in India and resident in UAE, क्योंकि
Yeah.
registration उनका individual होगा. बट एक स्पेसिफिक क्लॉज है इंडिया डीटीएए में कि इफ यू हैव एनी स्पेसिफिक लाइक परमानेंट एस्टेब्लिशमेंट इन इंडिया, आपका इंडिया में परमानेंट एस्टेब्लिशमेंट है जो उनका आई थिंक उनका फैक्ट्री या नॉर्मल शॉप्स एंड एवरीथिंग होगा,
Yes, yes.
लाइबिलिटी इंडिया में होगी, उस बिजनेस का प्रॉफिट्स को उनको इंडिया में टैक्सेस पे करना।
Okay, and on that shares also.
उनका इन्वेस्टमेंट्स भी है।
हाँ, shares market
या
also.
वो भी इंडिया में टैक्स, क्योंकि इंडिया यूए DTAA यही बोलते हैं, इनको इंडिया में टैक्सेस पे करना पड़ेगा शेयर्स में।
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Navneet, can you please ask a question?
Yes, Jai Shri Krishna everyone. My question is, I have bought mutual funds in let's say 2019 and 2020 when I was resident. Now I am non-resident, and if I sold that mutual fund now, so will I be able to get the tax benefit on sale of mutual fund in current year? I am non-resident now.
Yeah. So I think so basically this particular thing, so incomes are generally taxes on basis of the year in which you have earned that income. If I am a non-resident in particular in which I have earned income, so मेरा taxability for that year will depend on my tax residency of that year. In your case, in case you have invested in 2020 or 2019, but in current year, this year में you have earned the income, you are non-resident, तो उस ईयर के टैक्स रिटर्न में जब आप फाइल कर रहे होंगे, यू आर फाइलिंग एज नॉन रेजिडेंट, तो आपको बेनिफिट मिल जाएगा, 0% आपके लिए हो जाएगा।
Okay. I have one more question related to I have HUF in India. I have Demat account in the name of HUF also. Now, as per my understanding, the status of HUF is dependent on the status of Kata, resident or non-resident.
Yeah.
Okay. So when currently I am non-resident, I have mailed bank to convert my Demat account from resident to non-resident. But bank replied me that means the banking regulations are run by the FEMA guidelines. So your HUF account cannot be converted to non-resident even if the Karta is non-resident. That thing I'm not comfortable with the reply from the bank. So if you have some thoughts on this.
Yeah. So Navneet, I think this question specifically relates to the FEMA, the banking regulations, and I think there should be some regulations from RBI and everything as well. So give us some time. So I will just check for this how it will work. How the banks is working. You can send me the email as well that you have sent to the bank, and then we can discuss. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Last question from Amit Ji Pachisia. Can you please, Navneet, unmute them, and Amit Ji, can you ask a question? Thank you, Manish.
या हेलो। अच्छा, मेरा ये क्वेश्चन था, मैं HDFC लाइफ में मैंने इन्वेस्ट किया था, एंड लास्ट ईयर जब 2 years बैक मैंने जब काफ़ी यूनिट्स बेचे थे, देन आई वाज टैक्स्ड एट द फुल 30%, so now does it qualify under mutual funds or something, so that clarity is not there, I mean, or will it be qualified as ordinary shares and you pay the normal taxes, when you sell them?
So HDFC Life, I think it's a mutual fund. What I have seen in the market as well, it's a mutual fund that is there.
Yeah, but when I filed my returns 2 years back, and when HDFC themselves they deducted 30%, and
Then
on the
at that
profits.
time, have you submitted the documents like your? So basically, see how things work. So HDFC has obligation कि उनको टैक्स डिडक्ट करना ही है।
हाँ, ठीक है।
आपको जाके उनको बताना है कि मेरा TDS मत काटो क्योंकि आई एम नॉन रेजिडेंट। You have to submit the TRC, you have to submit Form 10F and everything. आपको उनको बताना पड़ेगा I'm नॉन रेजिडेंट, तो मेरे TDS ना काटो। अगर आपने वो नहीं किया तो वो आपको वो TDS काटेगा ही। और जनरली ये फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन म्यूचुअल फंड्स आपको आई थिंक जनरली मेल भी करते हैं दैट यू हैव टू फाइल Form 15F, दैट आप TDS कम डिडक्शन एंड एवरीथिंग वो भी आप कर सकते हैं।
अच्छा, ठीक है। I mean, but basic question was, does HDFC Life units qualify? Because they could not answer the question as mutual funds. Otherwise, okay, if they have deducted tax, I can always, claim a refund.
So let me double check as well.
Yeah, I
You
can
can
say.
if you can just message the actual name of the fund, HD Life and full
Yeah,
name.
ठीक है. I think that's more practical. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kushal Ji.
Very
Thank
nice,
you.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Amit Ji. Could I request everybody to please momentarily switch on the cameras so that we can quickly click group snapshot. And before you drop off, I will say a word of thanks to our eminent speakers and the people who've enabled this. Thank you so much. Let me, while I give a vote of thanks, I request everybody to switch on their cameras so that the admins can take a screenshot. As we conclude today's session, मैं दिल से धन्यवाद देना चाहूंगी किरण जी और कुशल जी को for explaining such complex topics in such a structured, practical, and easy to understand manner. Taxation जैसे subjects को simplify करना easy नहीं होता है. I have studied them. I know how complex they can get. But today's session truly made it relatable, structured, and actionable. On behalf of Maheshwaris in UAE, I would also like to sincerely thank MICS for their continuous support. A special note of gratitude to Sheetal Ji Soni, founder and partner, for encouraging and enabling such knowledge sharing initiatives for the community. A big thank you to all participants as well. Without you all, this session was meaningless. आप सब ने अपने busy schedule से time निकाला और आपकी engagement ही इन sessions को meaningful बनाती है. If you feel that today's session was insightful and valuable, please do share your feedback. आपके encouragement के basis पर we will certainly organize more such informative and practical sessions in the coming future. Let us continue to stay informed, stay compliant, and stay financially confident across borders. Once again, thanking every one of you. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Himish, and good night. Please switch on your cameras for those who have not so that we can finally click a selfie.
I would like our founding team members, Harshji, Abhishek, Abhik, and also Sachin, who is also our core member, to say a few words about our today's session. Navneet, please unmute them.
Like these are all basic doubts. मतलब हम लोग सीए बैकग्राउंड से नहीं है बेसिकली. सो हर बार ये कंफ्यूजन होता है कि क्या कितना टैक्स कटना है, कैसे कटना है. सो या एटलीस्ट अ स्टेप फॉरवर्ड वेयर वी हैव अ बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग नाउ. So yeah, it is very knowledgeable and helpful for us. Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate the effort.
Harsh, do you want to say something? सचिन ने भी हैंड रेस किया था बीच में. मनीष जी, अभिषेक.
जय महेश एवरीवन.
जय महेश. सचिन भाई साइड पे हो क्या?
अभी साइड पे हूँ बिल्कुल, इसलिए कैमरा ऑन.
कैमरा नहीं है. राइट, गो अहेड.
ये है कि एक तो पैनल को बहुत मतलब थैंकफुल पैनल के लिए और आप लोगों को जो उन्होंने ऑर्गेनाइज किया ये सेशन. अभी कोई मैं ऐड करता हूँ कि जैसे मैं भी सीए बैकग्राउंड से नहीं हूँ, तो मेरे लिए सेशन काफी यूजफुल रहा. ऑफ कोर्स टाइम का कंस्ट्रेंट है, मेरे भी कुछ क्वेश्चंस है, बट वो क्वेश्चंस मैं पैनल के साथ 1-to-1 चैट करके मैं आई विल ट्राई टू सॉल्व इट आउट एंड मेरी जो भी क्यूरी है मैं क्लियर करूंगा. बट अगेन थैंक यू एवरीवन, और ऐसे सेशन हम लोगों ने लेते रहना चाहिए ताकि माहेश्वरी कम्युनिटी जितना यूजफुल हो सके. वॉक टुगेदर, ग्रो टुगेदर.
Navneet, can you please present the presentation again? Kushal ji, Kiran ji, I think they want to show something else. So just try to present it again.
Manish ji, are you there?
Rahul will share screen.
जी बिल्कुल.
Yeah, so the reason for presenting our screen again is that, just we can be here. So just to introduce, we run a community called MICS Local to Global, in which what you can do, you can join the group. So what we do in this group, to be concisely discuss, we update any new updates which are there in specifically in UAE tax laws or GCC tax laws, or it can be UAE India tax laws and everything. So we provide daily updates, daily reminders for your compliances, and anything that is needed for you to understand the basics of taxes. So we do post every day, or every alternate day we post in this group. So if possible, you can join the group. So it will be great. Yeah.
Thank you, Kushal.
Yeah.
Also, any other questions that anybody still has and has hesitated asking them or not able to ask, you can post them in the group or ask any of the co-hosts, and we will connect you to these people for further doubt solving.
And Kushalji or Kiranji, if you can share it in with one of us, this QR code, we can definitely share it with the wider group,
Yeah,
wider
sure,
community.
sure, will do. And also, I think someone have asked for the presentation as well, that they, if we can. So
Yes.
by tomorrow, I think by tomorrow evening, we can share the presentation with the management team, and they can move it forward. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Big
you very much.
thanks.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much for
everyone.
the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll come back with more such interesting sessions. We are working in the background with many of the speakers. As and when something materializes, we'll post it in the group, and looking forward for your continuous support. Jai
We've taken the
Mahesh.
screenshot, right?
Jai Mahesh bhai.
Jai Mahesh.
Jai Mahesh.
Jai Mahesh.
Okay, so we'll wrap up the meeting now. We'll close it. Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Screenshot was taken, right?
Yeah. Let me stop the recording.